Hello everybody, I'm Miss MonMon. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. I am a lover of vintage magazines and newspapers. I love going through them and seeing especially the adverts. They are just probably one of the most entertaining parts of vintage magazines. But these time capsules of society really show us what issues were going on, who were celebrities, what sort of, I guess, socio-economical, political sort of dramas were happening. And as a historian myself, I just find them beyond fascinating. So at the end of last year, I was going on a little bit of a vintage adventure with my pin-up gal pal, Miss Vintage Orchid, and I stumbled upon these little babies. I found a whole bunch of vintage magazines, and I found these two especially from the 1920s. And seeing that we are back in the 20s, I thought let's see what happened almost 100 years ago. The first magazine I found was published on the 4th of June in 1927, and it is Picture Show. It came out weekly and cost a whole £2 sterling. The second magazine I have is the Film Weekly, which was published on the 2nd of September 1929. This wonderful magazine cost a whole £3, and our lovely cover lady is Bessie Love. So the first couple of pages seem to be short snippets of upcoming films, plays, anything entertainment-wise. They have, thanks Brian, they have tiny little snippets of information about certain actors and what they're up to. It's almost like a catch-up or a really quick sort of news feed, just really quick buzzwords about what's going on. Oh, there's a quiz. Let's see if we can do it. So, can you answer these? Who is the famous star who is half Indian and half American? Dev Patel. I love him. Oh my gosh, he is just so good. Yep, totally got that right. What is John Bauer's real name? I'm not the greatest at trivia or quizzes, but this just makes me feel really dumb. I don't know who any of these people are. Which is kind of sad. Does that mean they just never made it, or they just sort of slipped away? Oh, it's just so pretty. Oh, look at that. So this is an article called The Real Test of Beauty, and it tells the readers all about the importance of your eye on the camera. So it talks about how to have expressive eyes, especially facial expressions, how to use your face if you are considered beautiful to make it into the cinema world. Hi, darling. So we now have a wonderful little article about women, especially British women, in cinema and sort of what they are up to, what they are doing. And it talks about how there is a growing trend of actors who are now writing plays, which is amazing because I'm doing a little bit of research about Mae West at the moment, and that's exactly what she did. She started writing her own plays and even went to jail because one of the plays was considered so scandalous. But she was brave enough to write plays about homosexuality, abortions, drugs, prostitution, and then have them put up. But she found that she actually got so much more publicity by going to jail that it really helped her career, which was both hilarious because it did the exact opposite of what society wanted. Oh, that is wonderful. Oh my goodness, I love this. So here we have an advert, and it is a pipe company, and it sells different types of pipes for different moods, whether you want to be classy, refined, or going on an evening or trying to attract people. That is amazing. It's also nice that that's one of the first male-orientated adverts, but I suppose in a way. Hi, darling. Do you want to see? But I suppose in a way women would have looked at this and thought about their husbands or their partners and how they too can be a little bit more dapper. Yeah, I'm so sorry about Brian's Tinkerbell. There's nothing I can really do about that. I also love this little Cadbury ad with all these wonderful little gentlemen wearing Cadbury hats and a whole bunch of Cadbury chocolates. I love how the packaging has changed. Alright, on the last pages there is an advert, which I find shocking to me because I didn't realise that talking about depression in a magazine was done like this. I thought mental health had a bit more of a stigma. As well as this pattern, there is also a little section that talks about the latest fads in Hollywood. There are bracelets apparently, which are so beyond amazing, and also putting a ribbon around your hat. That is pretty groovy. And lastly, on the back there is an ad for Persil, which is a laundry powder which you can still get today. I believe it's German. I think it came out in 1907. Don't ask me how I know that so specifically. I just really like laundry powders. I'll just read you some bits because it's just a little bit too good not to share. If the fancy took you on wash day, would you be free to go out or get on with that needlework? Persil has given up freedom to more than 1 million women. Persil alone brings a woman such liberty on wash day. It gives you time to call your own. I love that. I love the idea of having liberty on wash day. So for me, Saturday is my laundry day, and I'm going to demand so much more liberty on that day. So that was Picture Show from 1927, and right now we are going to move on to Film Weekly from 1929. Oh, we got an ad for Lux toilet soap, and I know Lux is still around. I know I can go down to my pharmacy and buy it in like a tube of soap blocks, so that's pretty exciting. So here we have an interesting article. This article talks about the difference between British and American film stars, and it argues that the British film stars are not getting the same amount of publicity or attention as the American ones. Here it says that there's a whole bunch of men that have gone to America to help further their careers, and it sort of talks why are the British sort of being pushed aside for America, which is a very interesting article, especially because I know in Hollywood right now there is a bigger push to get more diversity of cultures on screen as main characters instead of just whitewashing everything, which is, you know, we haven't really progressed too far, but here are two predominantly white cultures fighting over screen time. So I suppose we have some similar issues as well. I love how they call them tele-talkies, because coming out of the silent film era, talkies were basically what normal cinema today is, because you can speak in them and the audience can hear the dialogue, which is why they were called talkies. But they continue on with the British are not being treated fairly by the American themes in an article entitled British Actors in Hollywood, When They Are Banned and Why. So they talk about things such as there should be a more restriction on aliens, which is basically anyone that is not British or American. And they just, yeah, that's absolutely mind-blowing that they're having this issue that they should not let anyone of colour onto the screen. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, I don't know if it's a good idea to share this, but I suppose, oh yeah, it would have been normal back then. Okay, let's discuss. Here we have an illustration of Moran and Mac, which were part of a duo called the Two Black Crows, and they are blackface artists, I suppose. So they did film, music, cabaret and vaudeville. It's really confronting just to see the image and how how we've been educated today that this is wrong and not acceptable, and why it's wrong and not acceptable. And yet here it is, just talking about what they're up to in Hollywood, what you should see, what they think and feel. I didn't expect to see blackface in one of these magazines. Okay, I think we're ready to move on now. We have a full 2-page centerfold on a film, which I think is called The Valley of Death. And it's a romantic film, and it's about the Crimean War. So they have this section here on this page, and it's almost like a casting call. So it has these 5 actors who are looking for work in the hope that someone will find this and look them up. I just did that. Not a single one of these actors came up under a Google search, which is sad because they never really got their dream, but I hope whatever they did in their lives, they were happy. Can you play a ukulele like this? No, I cannot play my ukulele like that. And the final page is an article about monocles, and you can write in and they will send you a photograph of a celebrity of the time. Wow, that was really enlightening. There is just so much to unpack here. I have loved going through these, and I hope you have too. But this was a lot of fun, so thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you'd like to comment, like and subscribe, you are most welcome to. I also have links to all my social medias down below, and my blog will feature some of my favourite pages from these magazines. If there was something that I mentioned that caught your eye and you'd like a closer look, I am happy to send that to you. Just find me on Instagram, that's the place I am the most active on and see a lot more coming through, or you can find my pin-up email. I think it's also through my Instagram. If you want me to send you a snippet or a page scan, I'm happy to do that for you. I am also still fundraising for Bully Zero Australia, so if you'd like to either donate or perhaps get a t-shirt or a postcard pack, they will all be linked down below. Any donation, big or small, are greatly appreciated. I am trying my hardest to make the world a kinder place, so thank you guys so much for your support. It really does mean the world to me. I will hopefully see you guys in the next video. Feel free to stick around, but until then, I'm sending you all love. Bye! Oh my god, they're so fragile. Oh, they smell like old knowledge. Oh, that's such a comforting smell. Maybe someone can correct me.